The Bulls with Vooch, by the way. Vooch is a great ticket to the 8th seed.
Yeah. But we agree there. I like it. We both agree on the Orlando Magic. Trending up. And I'm excited. They get another lottery pick. Like, they're not going to play in or any of that. Like, they get one more. And I think they're probably going to be a play-in team.
And they've got Chicago's pick.
Yeah.
As long as it's nice. Not, I think it's top 4 protected.
Ooh. So. Okay. I like that. Next up, the Raptors. Speaking of teams hanging on for dear life for the play-in. Are they trending up or down, Howard?
I marked them as unclear, but since the exercise is kind of, either or, I'm going to say up. And the up is kind of a leap of faith because I believe in Masai Ujiri and Bobby Webster in that front office, and they're really smart, and they didn't break it up at the trade deadline. They didn't break it up because they still believe in this roster, or at least some core of this roster, maybe not all of it. But they, the vote of confidence was reacquiring Jakob Poeltl. And, I don't know what the next step is, but it seemed clear to me that that's signaling we're not ready for some sort of tear down. We're not going to just like sell off parts. They have questions lingering and decisions to make. Like, are they re-signing Fred VanVleet? What will that cost? Assuming he opts out, are they re-signing Gary Trent Jr.? Are they, OG Anunoby is not yet in, John Collins territory for most consecutive months, rumored to be traded or rumored to be on the block. But they got to decide about Anunoby. But they clearly have talent there. Like, Siakam is really talented, and Scotty Barnes is really talented, even if he's had kind of a rough sophomore year. And Anunoby's great. So I'm going to say up because there's enough talent there that they have held on to. They have decisions to make this summer, but it seems pretty clear to me that they are not heading for a teardown. And this front office is, like I say, really savvy. They'll make a couple of smart moves this summer, and they'll be right back in the thick of things.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm with you. They're the most unclear to me on this list, where it's like Pascal's an all-star, but he's 28. Like, he's still going to be this kind of player if you do a teardown. Like, what do you like? I don't know what you do there. Scotty Barnes took a step back this year. His usage is at around 19 to 20. He's not a big just high usage guy. OG Anunoby, not a big high usage guy. Both good players, but it seems like someone's got to be the odd man out. Like, you've got to get more playmaking among the three to help Pascal. And for VanVleet, it's like one of those this summer we'll see whether or not they made a mistake, not just moving him at the deadline because he can just leave for nothing. And it seems like if I had to hedge against him, the field, or Fred VanVleet staying in Toronto, I would hedge towards he departing. You lose him for nothing. OG, does he get more frustrated and he wants to go be the guy or a bigger opportunity somewhere else? And then suddenly you're forced into that. I don't know. I think the Jakob Poeltl trade was good. I like Jakob, but I think they're kind of a sneaky fighting the inevitable team. And I think if Masai Ujiri was not the GM and the Raptors did not win the title and Nick Nurse was not the head coach, a lot more folks would look at them as like the Bulls or something, where you're like, what are you trying to be here? What are you trying to do?
That was a lot of ifs you just threw in there. It's like, that was like fair, but those things obviously all did happen. And it's why I think a lot of us would look at them and still think like, okay, the core of something good is here. And I have the faith in this franchise and in this coach and this front office to fix it. They've done it before, right? Like that track record matters, right?
But it wouldn't surprise you if Masai and Nick Nurse are out of Toronto this summer, would it?
It wouldn't surprise. Well, I wouldn't say that. I would say that after a disappointing season, is the groundwork there to say, you know what, maybe we just need a new voice on the bench? Sure, like that's logical. I'm not going to say like he's definitely out or anything like that. Like it wouldn't be surprising, considering the circumstances. On the other hand, Nick Nurse is one of the best coaches in the league, and you're constantly like, this is a difficult thing with the NBA, right? And you've heard this, like, I think Larry Bird said this, after he did his 3 years or whatever as Pacers coach, like, this is all you can do, because after that guy stopped, they start tuning you out, whatever. I think Rick Carlisle maybe has said that before. Meanwhile, Pop is on year 52 or whatever as a Spurs coach. It just depends on circumstances. I'm not sure I believe in the idea that a coach only has so much lifespan with a team. Nick Nurse hasn't lost any of his basketball acumen over the course of this. And if you change out enough of the players, maybe it doesn't matter that, okay, some of these guys weren't responding as well to Nurse anymore. So I don't know about that. On the front office side of it, I don't see any reason at all, unless somebody's going to, make one of those Godfather offers to try to pry loose Masai or Bobby Webster. I don't see where the franchise itself would be proactively trying to change up the front office.
Yeah. I'm going to say down. I think one of them is out.
Yeah.
I don't know which one, but I think one of them's gone. And I don't even think Masai gets fired. Like, I think it's one of those where Masai might just get a grandfather offer from somebody else.
Maybe.
To run their basketball ops. I don't know.
Some smart team with a lot of money should do that, frankly.
Yeah.
If I were running a team and had a lot of money to spend, I would do everything possible to pry loose Masai Ujiri.
Yeah, just look at it, be like, are you really certain that Scotty Barnes is going to guide you through this and that he's going to be the guy? Like, are you certain that this is going to go the way you want it to and this is going to be fun? Next up, the team that you're quite familiar with, Howard, over there in Brooklyn. The Brooklyn Nets. Are they trending up, or do you think this is like a little blip here towards the end of the season where it's like, yeah, this is fun. Mikail looks like a star. This looks great. Like, they got a lot out of it for the Kyrie and Kevin Durant trades. Like, they're going to be able to navigate this. They're going to be able to get back on the other side. They're basically recreating what Kenny Atkinson built. It's just everything. We just keep reinventing things that already was invented, right? With cable, where it's like, we're going to have all these streaming packages and it's going to be great. And then it's like, well, this ended up being the same thing. We're reinventing cable all over again.
We're
reinventing the Nets.
You could pay one price for all of this stuff.
Yeah.
How about that? There's a novel idea.
Exactly. I just feel like we're going in circles with the Brooklyn Nets. Every 3 to 4 years, they're just going to greatly navigate from contender to just fun team with no stars. It's just this never-ending cycle. Is that fair?
Broadly speaking, yes, but this is a better version of what they had during the Kenny Atkinson years, right? Instead of it being, Spencer Dinwiddie, Joe Harris, Karis LeVert, you have Spencer Dinwiddie, Joe Harris, and Mikail Bridges. But you have the established version of Spencer Dinwiddie, and actually you now have a banged up version of Joe Harris. I'm not sure where that's going, but no, like if you look at what they have right now, the guys I mentioned, and Mikail Bridges and Cam Johnson and Dorian Finney-Smith and Nick Claxton with this breakout season, this is a better version of the overachieving.